Hey, everybody. I am super excited for this chat with Kajnaji, a leader in the AI agent and customer engagement, customer experience space. Alan, how are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm well. I'm very excited for this time of year around Enterprise Connect. So much insight and news and announcements and, engaging conversations like this one. Before we dive into all thing AI agents and more, maybe introduce yourself, Alan, and your role.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Alan Ranger. I'm the head of marketing at Cognigy. I've been with the company for just over a year. So as you can imagine, it's been a pretty exciting year with everything that's happened with large language models and generative AI and how the impact it's had on customer service. So yeah, I'm also really looking forward to Enterprise Connect to see how much further things have evolved from where we were this time last year, where everybody was dipping a toe in the water and actually seeing some really concrete use cases.
Concrete use cases indeed. It's been an extraordinary year. I use the word revolutionary, but I don't think I'm exaggerating. But kind of elaborate how you guys leverage AI agents and Gen AI to revolutionize not only the customer service experience, but the agent experience. And in this very busy, complex landscape, how do you see yourself fitting in and differentiating yourselves out there?
Yeah, sure. So I think the key thing that differentiates us is that we've been doing conversational AI for a long time. So the company was
Mm.
founded 7 years ago, and that's all we've really done. That's been our focus, and we've built some fantastic examples of AI agents powered by conversational AI over the years. But what's really changed the game is the advent of generative AI in the last year. So yeah, we've got lots of major customers, like some of the big airlines like Lufthansa, some of the big insurance companies like Allianz over here in Europe that have all been using the platform to create, I suppose, what you might call traditional conversational AI-based AI agents. So where we are now is that we're at the point where we can actually pretty much provide the AI workforce of the future. So it's very much
Mm.
like hiring the very best agents and just being able to put them into your contact center environment, being able to work with your contact center vendors, your Genesis, your Avaya, any of the CCaaS vendors. And so we're there to create and manage the AI agents, and then we integrate with all of the systems that manage the human agents. And that sort of brings it all together into this fantastic seamless experience for the consumer, whether it's on voice, whether it's on chat, whether the conversation goes between the different channels, and whether it flips between human and AI. So yes, it's quite a complex setup behind, but the end result is it just comes out with this brilliant, seamless experience for the consumer, where they don't have to wait. It's personalized to them, and they can use pretty much any channel they like.
Yeah, it's extraordinary to interact with one of your AI agents. And how do you stay on sort of the cutting edge in terms of language understanding and customer engagement, resolving customer inquiries? What's your special sauce there?
Well, really, it is that, as you say, it's understanding, and it's understanding
Mm.
the intent of the conversation and being able to use that to give that seamless experience to the consumer. So, a good example would be one of the large insurance companies in Europe. They have a concierge AI agent that is there, and its main role is to
Mm.
take the initial call with no delay whatsoever, do the identification and the verification of the caller, and then also understand the intent. And that was even before the days of generative AI. They were getting up to sort of 95% in terms of intent recognition. And now with the concept of applying a large language model, you can really understand absolutely everything the caller or the texter is requesting. So you can really get that ID&V process really slick, but then more importantly, go and also work out what their intent is and then prepare everything ready to get that resolved.
Fantastic. And there's such a big gap between consumer, customer expectations and the realities these days of customer service. What are your strategies there to close those gaps with AI technology? How do you identify them and then deliver them in real world kind of customer service environments in a
Yeah.
seamless way?
That's it. And no, I really feel for the people running customer operations in everywhere across the world. It's universal. There's just a real shortage of good human AI, sorry, good human
Hmm.
agents. It's partly a hangover from the pandemic where people didn't want to go back to the contact center. They'd found different careers, but also just the cost of hiring and training and retaining the agents has made it really difficult as well. So universally, we're seeing this big gap between the availability of human agents and the levels of expectation from consumers, but also from the leadership of companies. So yeah, there's two gaps. There's a gap of the volume of the people, which we can fill through automation, and I'll get onto that in just a second, but also the expectation gap. So there's an expectation of the consumers who've been playing with ChatGPT, and they say, well, ChatGPT understands everything I ask it, and it gives me an answer. Why can't you do that? And then on top of that, you've got the leadership of companies being advised by everybody from McKinsey to the other management consultants, being told that generative AI will improve their bottom line by 30%. So they're all putting pressure on the customer service leaders to then get those savings using generative AI. But of course, it's not quite as easy as that. You can't just plug in ChatGPT and off you go. We've seen some pretty horrible examples of that just going horribly wrong. So what you have to do is really sort of pick off where you want to start and where you're going to get the greatest value. So that example that I gave earlier, just the simple concierge, that saves 30% of the agent handling time on every single call. And when you've got 20 or 30 millions of calls every year, and each of those calls is costing €6 or €7, all of a sudden you're in the tens of millions of savings, which will obviously please the leadership of your company. But where it really comes in is where you do have a blend of conversational and generative AI. So what we're seeing mostly is people using the generative element of it to improve the efficiency of the human agents and to improve the lives of the human agents. So for the self-service stuff, it's taking away those mundane tasks. I wouldn't want to be sitting there doing identification and verification all day, or in an internal system changing passwords all day. So why not automate that with a really well-built AI agent that understands exactly what the person's requesting and completes that self-service, ready to hand it over to the human agent as necessary, or perhaps even to keep it in the self-service channel. So that's one area where we're really seeing huge advantages. And then in the background, we're seeing an awful lot of agent co-pilot. So this is where the large language model is actually part of the call, and it's running in the background, giving the human agent all of the assistance they need. So, it can be sitting there listening to the conversation, and as the conversation is going, it's prompting up next best responses ready for the agent just to click on. And we've got a couple of systems in the pilot stages now where the human agent isn't doing any typing at all. They're just sitting there, and the large language model understanding everything that's being said, it's summarizing it, it's creating the notes, it's creating the next best responses, it's doing sentiment analysis to say this could be a good moment to say this, or if there's an opportunity for an upsell, that sort of thing. And so it's happening in the background. It's also, because it's understood the intent, it can go off and get a lot of the background information that you need to resolve the issue. So again, for an insurance example, if somebody's called in because they've had an accident with their car, the AI agent has already identified and found out that they're calling about the car accident, and in the background, it's gone off and gone to the insurance backend system. It's gone to the CRM. It's got all of the details needed to resolve the person's question, and then there's the warm handover to the human agent to just do that bit there, where they can then say, so I see you're calling about this. I've got all of the details here. I can supply you with a rental car when your car is in the garage being mended. And then the best thing that all of the agents love is at the end of the call, because the agent co-pilot has been running in the background, it can actually do the call summary and wrap up. So they just press a button, there's a brilliant summary that's created, that's consistent, it's captured everything that's been said, and you press another button and it updates the CRM and the back-end system. So it's taking a lot of pressure off the human agents, but also providing that better experience to the consumer, because they're not having to wait while the human agent goes and looks things up. It's all happening in the background, and just providing that seamless experience.
Wow, that is incredible. So exciting, so much opportunity. But let me ask you, I mean, AI has been around at some level in the contact center for some time before large language models emerged on the scene. Typically involve lots of professional services, and customization and flexibility were always challenges. So how do you sort of tailor your AI agents per customer or per industry, align with brand voice and all of the strategies that they might have already in place?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Before we had the large language models, yes, we were working generally with large enterprises that did have a conversational AI practice. And so they already had the conversational designers and the people that knew how to structure the
Mm,
conversations and create pretty well formed bots that were really good at doing specific tasks. But obviously, if you tried to take them off track, they wouldn't understand what was going on. They'd be pretty good at getting you back on track and just saying, I'm here to help you with your insurance claim or to rebook your flight or whatever. But of course, now with the capabilities with the large language models, it can reflect your brand if you want it to be. With some of the synthetic voices now, they have intonation. They appear to have empathy and understanding. Because the
mm,
conversation has been understood, you can then create a response in voice or message that is actually empathetic and really human-like. So it's taking us to a new level, and I think where it will take us will be that we'll go beyond customer service with AI agents. With customer service, you can put up with a small amount of friction if you have to. If your home broadband is broken and you're desperate to get on your conference calls as you're
mm,
working from home, you'll put up with a bit of friction to get it fixed. You're a badly structured bot or whatever, or having to wait on hold to get it fixed, you'll do it. If you're buying something, you probably won't. But now,
mm,
with all of the capabilities and the creation of the brand voice and the whole way that the human conversation can happen with an AI, I think we're actually going to see a new wave of sales and marketing AI agents that are there to help people purchase stuff, either understanding what their needs are and coming up with product recommendations, or even doing things like responding to physical advertisements, or perhaps even Instagram reels. You could be watching Instagram and see a product you like. You click on the reel,
mm.
and then you can have a messaging conversation with an AI agent that knows what you were just looking at, and then can help you find out more about the product. So, yeah, I think that's where we'll see things going.
Exciting times ahead. The best is kind of yet to come almost.
So, yes,
You mentioned some of the bottom line impacts in terms of ROI and dollar cents, pounds, euros.
yeah,
But what about other aspects of success? And, what are the kind of metrics that you and your customers use to measure successful implementation of AI in customer service? And what other improvements have you seen beyond the obvious dollar
yeah.
ones?
The biggest thing that we see now is very much based on customer satisfaction. As we were just
Mm,
discussing, there's that huge gap between expectation of customer and what can be delivered, and also the huge gap of having enough humans to service it. So a huge metric that everybody's focused on is obviously CSAT and NPS. So everybody's wanting to deliver a better service with either the same amount of resources as their company grows, or in fact with a slightly smaller number. So yeah, that's been really big. And in fact, we've seen it that it's been more the case that people want to improve the customer satisfaction and reduce costs at the moment. They realise that they're behind in terms of the gap. And I don't think we've actually got a single customer that's been able to or wanted to get rid of human agents as a result of replacing it with AI agents. It's very much about augmenting the humans with the self-service AI agents to do repetitive tasks, but also then bringing in that co-pilot to help the humans do their job in a better way, or also just to improve the whole working environment for the humans. One of the biggest costs in the contact center is churn, and
mm.
it costs a fortune to hire, retain, and train an agent. And if you're getting through 100% churn like we do in Europe, because a lot of them are working students, and that really is a huge overhead on the business. So yeah, it's moved away from some of the traditional contact center metrics of average handling time and first call resolution. It's much more about the agent handling time and how much can be automated in the background. But then it's all about CSAT and agent satisfaction, because obviously the two components that deliver great customer service are happy agents and happy customers.
Mm. Happy agents, happy customers. What a world that would be.
Would be.
Um, so you're on the front lines of implementing AI agents, and you really get your hands dirty. You see it all. What are some of the big challenges you see when integrating AI into customer service with your clients, and roadblocks that you have to overcome?
Yeah, I think it's just a misunderstanding. Obviously, everybody's
Mm,
heard ChatGPT, and everybody's heard that it hallucinates. And then there's been a few examples where people have let ChatGPT out in the wild to create some chatbots that have gone slightly off the rails. So yeah, there's an awful lot of education that needs to be done. So probably every week we're presenting to the chief executive or the board members of a major enterprise, just as an educational session to say this is what's going on, not even a sales pitch. This is what we're doing in AI. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. So yeah, the biggest challenge is very high expectations from the leadership of companies, and then just making sure that those expectations can be matched with something that really delivers an ROI. From the other end of it, there's some organizations where they'll have a center of excellence for conversational AI and generative AI, but not actually have the use cases identified. And they've been disconnected from the business. So it's making sure that you're connecting the people that have the knowledge and the capability of delivering something with the people in the business that have the problem that needs solving. And then just putting the two together and going, right, this is where we're really going to make an impact. And then we're going to iterate on it from there.
Exciting. Well, imagine this discussion happening at a board level. Who would have imagined that just a couple of years ago? That's wonderful for you in the industry. I've been going to Enterprise Connect for, gosh, almost 15 years when it was called VoiceCon back in the day. If we were to fast forward to Enterprise Connect 2025, what would you imagine the role of AI in customer service and customer experience being? What are the big trends or opportunities, the evolution you might imagine in one short year?
Yeah. I don't think in 2025 that we'll all be replaced by the AI version of ourselves going to the conference. I think that we're all still getting together. I think that there'll be, yes, a shift in the landscape. I think that there will be some really good customer-facing AI agents that are powered with generative AI. So they will be there understanding all of the intent and all of the language that's being used and being able to answer any question, but also being contained by guardrails of conversational AI to make sure that they only answer questions on which they have the knowledge source. So it could be, simple like the airline rebooking system. It could you could be asking sort of outside what it can do. It said, well, I understand that you want to bring your pet dog on the plane, but I'm here to help you rebook your flight. And I will help you rebook your flight. Then I'll put you onto a human agent or another type of agent, another AI agent that understands your question. So it's not like, I'm sorry, I don't understand when it says, I want to bring my dog on the flight. It's like, I do understand you want to bring your dog. Let's get you rebooked. And then I'll hand you over to somebody that can actually answer the question. So I think we will see generative AI powered AI agents as customer facing. As I said earlier, I think we'll see the first sales and marketing AI agents as well. I don't think it'll be quite as far as having an avatar you go shopping with, but I think it'll be, certainly things like where an upsell or a cross sell is happening might be, in the telecoms world, that your mobile phone contract's coming to an end. It'll be quite common that it's an AI agent that gets in contact with you as your contract comes to an end to do you the renewal or the upsell at the end of that. I think we'll be seeing an awful lot more of that.
Well, I can't wait to see this unfold. So exciting. You're at Enterprise Connect. The team is there. Maybe what are some of the things to expect from your presence, some of the messages and news and announcements that are coming up? Anything you can preview as we begin
Ooh.
the melee that is Enterprise Connect?
That's it. Yes, it's only as we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, certainly we'll be doing showcasing a lot of what people have actually done. So yes, we'll be talking a lot about the Copilot side of things, and being able to give demonstrations of some of the new voices that we're using as well, the synthetic voices, and how really you're able to create that really human-like experience that has apparent empathy with what's going on in the conversation, and then the right responses are being given with the right intonation and voice. Other exciting areas, we're doing a lot with real-time translation. So you can have an agent speaking one language and a consumer speaking the other, and the two of them communicating. We have this actually with Lufthansa when their contact center in Germany shuts in the evening. All of the chat gets routed to an English-speaking contact center in the Philippines, and the German customers are asking questions on chat in German, and it's being translated real time to the English-speaking agents in the Philippines who are replying back in English, and they're able to have that conversation. I think we'll be seeing this in voice very soon. I think that we're pretty much there with the technology in terms of reducing any latency and making sure that it's a really good human conversation. So yeah, we'll be showing a lot of Copilot, a lot of really useful, concrete use cases that use the large language models, and perhaps a little glimpse of the future of what it will look like when it's a full generative powered AI agent talking directly to the consumer.
I can't wait to see that. Lufthansa is one of my favorite airlines because it's just the customer experience is just so great,
They've
whether
done a
it's
great
through
job.
the app or when you call them or over messaging. It's just they're always very helpful. So U.S. Airlines, please take note regarding your European colleagues there. It would be nice to see that industry wide. Well, congrats on all the goodness, and I'll see you at Enterprise Connect. Have an amazing show,
Yeah, looking
and
forward.
onwards and upwards.
Great. Thank you very much, and good to talk to you.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and stop by and see the folks at Cognigy at Enterprise Connect. Have a
Yeah,
great
come and
presence
talk.
there.
Yeah,
Take care,
great.
everyone.
Lovely. Thanks a lot. Bye
Bye bye.
bye.